So 3 years and 20 days ago today, I held my mother in my arms as she, out of the blue, and in a couple of hours, lost her life to raging blood poisoning. She left us like she had loved us, with great intensity, and without a doubt. My mother always saw the light in people. She kept caring for the ones that others had long since given up. Her death awoke the need in me to expand my family, for it also to include the people I work with. I guess I wanted somehow to compensate for the loss of her. I no longer had any interest in adapting to corporate structures or rules. I felt that way too much energy was lost in the process. I decided to make business happen, firstly based on who I am, and secondly, on what I do. Driven by the urgent need to turn one day into day one. So I left a long career in large organizations and entered life as an entrepreneur within recruitment and advisory services for tech companies. I had no previous experience of running my own business and almost no financial buffer to support my family during the startup phase. It took me 2 months to support myself well, and to start working less than 20 hours a week. I have, to this day, never made a cold call, never signed a written agreement, and all customers and candidates have been handed to me. Today, I work less than 2 days a week for money, and get to spend the rest of the time pro bono, assisting in running a women's clinic in Congo, and reducing energy poverty in Africa, doing what actually matters in the world, challenging status quo for the people less fortunate than me. Let's get into how it's done. The business model at play here is a business model of trust based on 2 main principles: building a business family and practicing complete honesty. The people I do business with are my business family, meaning that we provide for each other, enabling business, making sure that the right energy is provided to the right people at the right time, guaranteeing that the meetings we supply are always worth taking. Because we understand which people will not only benefit financially from connecting, but who will get inspired and ignited and change the world together. This is something we do several times a day. And as a result, our business family grows by the minute. Maybe you're wondering how to choose people for your business family. Could you all close your eyes for a second? Visualize the people in your life that challenges you, that makes you grow, who makes you feel brilliant and loved and enriched. Exclude immediate family. Make sure the people you see are people that want the best for you and that you would be willing to help succeed, regardless of whether it benefits you or not. What you see is your network starting point. Is there someone there, or are you looking at a void? Well, if you are, voids are only spaces left to be filled, right? Now open your eyes. Maybe you visualize tons of great people, and maybe you need to start from scratch. Whatever the case may be, start exploring people that interest you. Ask them for a meeting to tell you their story. Most people like telling you what drives them and who they are and why. Use that moment to decide whether there is a way to go from acquaintance to business family. I use 3 questions to guide me in that process. Do I want to learn from this person? Is the person humble and kind? Do I want them to succeed regardless of whether it benefits me or not? If the answer to all 3 are yes, we have a winner, and we could move on to the next part: how to treat them. Once you have chosen the people in your business family, then always be the mirror of the best possible version of them. Trust them to remain intelligent and kind and honest, as was your first impression. You will find that this is what they become, because it's how you make them feel. When chosen wisely, your business family will mirror how you treat them through how you choose to perceive them, turning people into exactly the people you wish they were through leading by example. One of my strongest proofs of concept is that my business family keep trusting me with the most important people in their lives. They email and call me saying, "This is my wife, mother, brother, best friend. Could you please help them find a new job, mentor them, meet their company, etc." Building a business family is not something you do for work. It's a way of life. And as long as you honor the trust that people give you, it has no apparent stop to it. Because all people have a friend who has a friend who has a sister who has a previous colleague. Right? Always accept meetings provided by your business family. The reason being that you should cherish their wish to contribute to your success above your own preconception of possible value. All meetings, yes, all, are a gift. It's sometimes a gift of meeting a person you wish to stay away from in the future, but it's still important. One thing I've learned in the process of building my business family is that asking people for help is 1,000,000 times more effective than telling them what you know. Giving people the opportunity to shine and explain and highlight great people around them to be heroes, if you will. And in return, you get smarter and you build a better relationship. My first month as a full-time entrepreneur was spent in 100 meetings. Me and my business partner at the time decided to introduce ourselves and each other to all the people we thought might be of relevance. We used them to juggle ideas, discuss our offerings, tell them our fears. We basically told them everything. The obvious gain for us being that we got to build our offering together with a vast amount of people working in more or less the same industry. But the even bigger advantage was that these people leaving our meeting were proud of having been part of our process. They immediately became our spokespersons, and it took but days until they started providing opportunities. And still, we did the opposite of what was expected, telling everybody everything, trusting that honesty would help us and not kill us. And we were right. This brings us to the part of practicing complete honesty. With trust as a business model, the permanent code of conduct is what I say is what I am. This is, surprisingly enough, as unparalleled as it seems simple. This will cause the right people to be part of who you are, not what you do, and thereby joining you for the long run. Your business family should be trusted enough for you to tell them everything you do. All the whys and the hows and the whats. Maybe not always the whos, due to caring for personal integrity, but sometimes that too. This is what I do. Every day to everybody. I firmly believe that if you take my ideas home and you make them your own and you do it better than I do, then more power to you. I guess I'm the one who needs to get back home and find a new career where I shine brighter. It is my firm belief that the world needs no more dimmed lights. And we should all live nothing less than our full-blown, through-the-roof potential. There are 3 interesting examples where complete honesty actually became a unique selling point for me. Let's start with me meeting a new software company regarding recruitment. Since I base everything on what my network provides, I will not promise anything regarding time frame, competencies, or number of people. In return, I never ask to be the sole provider. All customers end our meetings saying they wish to work together. And it's apparent that neither speed, competence, nor quantity are part of what I sell. Did I mention I work in recruitment? My customers are buying into beliefs and honesty and our relationship, trusting me to deliver value, even though I guarantee none. Interesting, huh? Another example is last fall when I actually turned down working with a customer several times, quite bluntly, telling them I did not have any passion for their line of business. And I was not the right fit. You would expect them to ask me to leave, right? But no, it ended with them asking me to transform them into a customer that I would be willing to work with. Suddenly, business I didn't want turned into business I actually wanted, only because I was honest. As it turns out, they wanted to understand my no more than they wanted to find that other supplier that would most likely have promised passion and commitment from start. And once again, you could say that complete honesty outsmarted any given sales theory. Last but not least, while recruiting for a product owner, it came to my knowledge that the same candidate had been sent to the same customer through a cheaper supplier. So I called the CTO at my customer. I told him exactly what happened. I gave him the reference of a great candidate, because he really was, and I advised him to choose the other supplier, obviously since that would be cheaper for him. What he answered? I will let the other supplier know I already got the candidate from you because I like you better. These 3 examples, and there are many, many more, shows that business can be based on something much more valuable than money. Isn't that really comforting in like so many ways? Trust as a business model, it is not something you do. It is something that you live by. And if your reason for adopting these ideas would be to outsmart competition or increase profit, you will most surely fail completely. Because you see, your brain is not your key player here. Your heart is. Applying these ideas to work life is something you do for yourself, because you want to fulfill the need of creating value with a currency much stronger than money. well handled, you will support yourself well too. But if that is your sole drive, choose a different path. You see, if the honesty part of this model fails, the whole idea kind of crumbles. Trust is something you give to give, not to get back. Keep in mind that the business model of trust is a business model of pay it forward, not a business model of return on investment. Thank you.